We ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, look, man. Okay.
This
Hey, look. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Juice, aka No One There Brother, aka a Rising Pharaoh.
All right. We back with another broadcast.
Man, who are you, man? Who are you, man?
Podcast.
Who are you, man? You didn't even introduce yourself.
I go by the name of King Exodus Nasud, aka X. You know, all that good stuff. Yeah. Put the king in there.
Okay, y'all. You know what I'm saying? As y'all see my outfit, I went with the Kanye style. You know, make sure I match, but have the truck driver hat on. Shout out to Kanye and the good work you're doing right now. So, title of this podcast is Who and What Gets Your Attention Faster, right?
And dating.
So, and dating. Dating. My fault. I didn't clarify that. So this is what happened, y'all. I did a poll the other day, and it said, who grabs your attention faster? The person who gets to know you or the person who's willing to take you out? And by a landslide, 95% of people said people who get to know me. And 5% said take me out. But the way I worded it, right? I worded it gets to know me or spends money, right? Moral of the story is people try to use things that are morally correct so they don't sound like, so it doesn't sound too bad when they pick and choose. I do that purposely, right? Because if a person takes you out, you know they're spending money, right? Because I could take you out your house and take you back to my crib, but that's still taking you out. But it's not a form of dating. Because people are going to say, oh, that's not a date. All I did was go out to your house and come to your house. Like, can you take me on a date first? So that's why I believe a lot of people be capping when it comes to subjects like this, man. So we're going to hit a couple different avenues and categories. What did you want to throw in there? Because it's time to go in, man.
All right, so
man, I didn't give me a drink, goddammit. I just realized that.
Beforehand, kind of elaborate more so on the topic. I think people are quick. The average person, you know what I'm saying? We got to start with the average person. The average person more so would probably prefer the person that's willing to spend money versus the person with the character. And that's because, not just because maybe they just want to be wined and dined or they got fucked up morals, but money can also bring experience.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Hey, let's talk about it, man. Hey, look, we gonna go viral on this. Hey, this gotta be the video we go.
So imagine not everybody can date somebody with an amazing character that can't provide first experiences or spectacular experiences.
Talk to them.
Sometimes people want it all. Sometimes people just prefer the experiences based on what they're trying to get out of that person.
Right.
You feel me? So I would just keep it there. Let's not trash the person that just wants the person with the money or the finances, because that's what can provide those experiences. You can't travel off somebody's personality. You can't pay the tab off a personality. It just don't work like that.
Or a person who gets to know you.
Unless the person know how to wash dishes in the restaurant or some shit like that, or maybe they know somebody that's gonna give them a free pass. I don't know. But I know a lot of people. Then you have the more simple person. That's like, hey, you could take me on a picnic. You know what I'm saying? We can go for a walk in the park. You do have those kind of people that exist.
Right.
But we're talking about the average person. So, and men, you know, we really don't have that many options.
Man,
most likely,
wait till I get back on.
Most likely, we the ones that's providing the financial experience. And the personality.
You know what I'm saying? Look, like I said, I can't wait to get back on me.
Go ahead.
Hey, look, man, do me a favor, man. I don't mean to grab you out of your chair, man. I need a drink for this, man. I need a drink.
What you drinking, man?
I'm drinking what you drinking tonight. I need a drink. What you drinking tonight?
Get on that dog liquor.
Okay, y'all, man. Y'all
got on that dog liquor.
Man, excuse me for a second while I go on the second.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so look, so when everybody always says, right, I'm only gonna talk to somebody who gets to know me before taking me out. The reason why I say that's cap, because you have a lot of people, right, who has already gotten to know you and you won't let them take you out. So, and it's like, how you know what I'm saying, with those experiences with people who already know you, you won't let them take you out, right? I always use a scenario when it comes to single people, right? If there's 4 people talking to me, right, and they all want to get to know me, but the person initiates, hey, how about we go out? I'm pretty sure I'm going to go out with the experience of somebody who wants to actually take me out. Now, during that poll, there was men and women who chose get to know me better, right? And as far as the men that were like, hey, I got to get to know a person before I let them take me out, I got to ask you men something like, when did you become so scared to let a woman take you out, right? Because y'all be the same men who always say, why I got to always pay for a date? Why a woman can't take me out? But now it's, hey, you got to get to know me as a man before I let you take me out. I'm calling BS on that, right? Especially if you haven't been the person who hasn't had somebody pick up the tab for once. You're gonna move quicker, right? It's abnormal to see a woman initiate. They want to take you out faster than it is for a man to ask a woman to be taken out. So that's why I'm definitely calling cap on that, especially when it comes to men. Now, am I also aware that men and women want to get to be known before they get stepped out? Cool, because you have people like, oh, you don't even know me, you want to take me out. Yeah, I understand that at the same time.
Well, ain't the purpose of taking somebody
else to get to know them? That's exactly what I'm getting at. Because if I ask you like, hey, can I take you out? I'm getting to know you. I'm getting to know you at the same time. And more so, I get to see your personal interactions in the flesh better. Because we can be all this glamorous, high jab bullshit, amazing person when it comes to personality before I take you out. But I have witnessed too many times that it's not always that once we get in person. You know what I'm saying? Am I doing too much, man? Am I doing too much? All right, let me get back on the subject of when I take somebody out, right? And also when it comes to that subject with taking somebody out, I don't necessarily have to know you, wait till the next day in order to take you out, right? I'd have met people within an hour if they were optimistic and open to me taking them out. I did it within that same hour or within them 30 minutes. Wow. I think y'all have it confused to where dates have to happen like, okay, he got my number, she got my number for 24 hours. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to wait till the weekend comes, or in 2 weeks, I'm going to take them out. I just don't move like that. The energy's there. I'm like, hey, how open are you to doing our first date? And some people I be like, that's kind of different. Like, where are you going with this?
Not to cut you off, but a lot of times people pick and choose what kind of time limits they want to put on shit. Mm-hmm. And it kind of comes off to some people, if you get somebody's number and you hit them up within less than 24 hours, then you thirsty. And if you try to take them out on a date, less than at least 3 days of talking to them, then you thirsty. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you do that, you remove a lot of natural flow from shit. Mm-hmm. And you can't really, after you do that, you can't really be too picky on what you get from your actions, because you're fucking up the processes by being, for one, I'm gonna just say it's stupid.
Okay.
Because in getting to know a person or doing anything with a person, you have to let nature take its course. And if you already have shit predetermined on how fast you're gonna move or how slow you're gonna move, you're now slowing down the experience that you can get from that person. Mm-hmm. So let's just flip the scenario.
Flip it.
Let's say you meet a millionaire that you know is a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Do you still have these time limits and expectations in your brain? Are you still saying that the millionaire is thirsty if he hits you up? You know what I'm saying? And take you out within a couple of hours of meeting you? No, you wouldn't. You'll move as fast as the fucking wind, because you know that person's a fucking millionaire.
Or it could be your favorite art. It could be your favorite whatever. Yeah. It could be your favorite whatever. If you have already done your research and everything, you know how this person maneuvers, you're not going to waste time.
If they have status, you're not going to move that slow. You're not going to think the person with status is thirsty. Even though that person might be a little bit more thirsty, because you just may be like option number 25, 26 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's really the person you probably should take your time with. But a lot of times we don't keep it realistic. We associate financial status with the pace of dating. Sometimes the richer the person or the more known the person is, they don't really have to go through the hurdles of dating.
Exactly.
Right.
Or a person that's more attractive, right? I could be talking to you for like 3 weeks straight, getting to know you. You go out, dude approaches you. He look way better than Juice. Hey, fuck it. It is what it is. He asks to take you out. He might take you out faster than I have, and I built three weeks worth of my time into it, right? I don't know if y'all understand like why men don't like wasting their time, right? Them days where you be caking all night, like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours early in the morning, and then when you start dating, talk to a person, like, man, this shit was a complete fucking waste of time.
Okay.
That really affects the momentum of that relationship. right? 'Cause I don't like having my time wasted. That's why Kevin Samuel preaches that a lot. Men don't like their time wasted just as much as women don't. But at the same time, most men will get directly to it. That's why when you go on dates, now we're gonna move to the another subject, right? They say if you're not interested in having sex with somebody, would you still date them? People say yes, and then I'd be like, well, why would you, right? So that's why I always say, like, if you go out to a restaurant or maneuver with certain people on a date, if you don't feel certain ways of sexually attracted to them, pick up the tab, pick up your portion. That cancels out that date. Like, oh, okay, maybe the energy's not there, or maybe they believe, maybe they just look at it different. They can cover their portion. But the best way you can cancel sexual interest when time's being invested or money's being invested is making sure you pay your own tab.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
I would be a little bit more strict, and I would say, if you're not sexually attracted to a person, don't even go on a date with them.
Don't even go on that date.
Because I think in the adult world, it's safe to say we only date people that we plan on having intercourse with. I'm going to keep it appropriate right now. Sexual intercourse is the end result of dating. So, I'm not saying you got to do it on the first date, second or third, whatever the case be. But in the adult world, the purpose of dating you is to have sex with you. So if you don't plan on having sex with that person and you're still going to date them, I would say not just pay for your own shit, but drive yourself there.
Oh man, let's go. Let's get it, man.
And sometimes that's even good if you do plan on giving it up, because you're giving it up on equal grounds.
Yeah.
It's nothing old or obligated. And a lot of women think men are wrong for thinking sex is an obligation based on I would say down payments. But
down payments.
You can't name any item on the market that a person put a down payment on and never expect to see the item, touch the item, experience the item. It just don't work like that. You're not gonna pay a car note on a car you can't drive.
Not at all. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Unless it's layaway. I mean,
you're not even gonna put gas in a car that you can't drive. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you know what I'm saying, you gonna kind of be like, yo, I put gas in that car. It's, what you doing with that gas? You're gonna feel entitled to wherever you put your finances towards, and it's just like, stop playing. We live in a real world.
Right.
Wherever there's an investment, we expect returns. That's how business works. You know what I'm saying? That's called assets. If you do put money into something, you never get nothing back from it. That's called a liability.
Right.
So I don't do liability dating. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, keep it funky, man. Keep it funky, man.
Asset dating. It's an ass and assets. You know?
That's what I was about to say.
That's what I do.
Hey, look, man, I put this money in for not getting that.
That's what I do.
Just like person be like, why you trying to put my time in that get a relationship? Hey, look, relationships do have that time, a time and age. You like get them buns up, get them buns.
So I mean, guess going back to the original conversation, man. Why do you think people don't really value personality as much as they should in dating?
I think personality is cap. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's women. I have met. They've been like, yeah, man, I went on a date with this dude. He has a great personality. He paid for everything, but I wasn't interested in sex. I was like, you're so interested in personality. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't have had sex with him, but why lead the man a different way? Like, after the first date, don't bullshit with somebody doing the next date. Like, cancel out future dates if you don't feel a certain way about somebody. And if people are like, well, it can't change. I'm like, no, come on, man. Like I told X, man, when somebody first meets somebody, there's this really sexual interest there. Whether you want to disregard it and say it doesn't exist, man, it's just like people like, yo, I seen her right in my eyes and I knew she was the love of my life. And I wanted to marry her. Well, guess what comes with marriage, right? It comes some sex and some kids. So even if you try to think futuristically, let's not forget what happens at the same time during that process. So people value personality when it comes to more of a friendship relationship. Let's just be honest with that. Right, that's a person you can call for certain tips, or if you're going down, that type of stuff. Personality is valued more in friendships and not in relationships. And the reason why it is
that's weird, but it's true.
It's weird. Your personality is more valued in friendships than it is relationships, because at the same time, the way I move now, I don't let anybody get my time. You gotta earn my time, right? Let's just say hypothetically, it's a woman I'm talking to, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going through this and that." I might listen to 3 to 5 minutes of it, but I'm not in a relationship with you, so I'm not really obligated to give you my time like that, right? Because the more a woman vents to a man, you know what I'm saying? They'll start kind of seeing you as a friend. That's what, you know what I'm saying, venting those type of relationships. That's why I told X before, like, hey, if I got to vent to somebody, I'm gonna vent to my homie versus my woman. You know what I'm saying? It's, man, I don't even want to get into like too much of that science, but like I said, the more a person releases emotions onto you, this and that, it's not they're not necessarily looking at you no more on a sexual basis. Be like, oh, that's a person I can come to anytime I need to. Y'all understand that? Might this affect this out there, Mike, maybe.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess to piggyback off that, a lot of people kind of use their friends a little bit more than they use the people that they're actually in relationships with. And maybe because they could probably be a little bit more vulnerable with their friends, so to speak, from the opposite sex. Because at the end of the day, it's no obligations after the vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? If you be vulnerable with your mate, a lot of people feel like some kind of obligation or responsibility comes afterwards. And then a lot of people just don't feel comfortable sharing certain things with certain people, and that's another thing that you have to respect. You know what I'm saying? Some men are so prideful that they don't want their women to see certain signs of their vulnerability. And then certain signs of it they comfortable sharing, and then certain sides of it they not. Same thing with women. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of mothers would never really just break down and cry in front of their kids. And it's a reason for that. You want certain people to see you in certain aspects and roles, and you want to keep that character engaged. You don't want to break that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's women out there that can't really accept the fact that they man can't be 100% vulnerable with them. So you have some women that want the vulnerability, and you have some that don't. Some women can take the vulnerability and be like, I knew he was a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Or he's not as strong as I thought he was. Every person can't accept the vulnerability aspect in relationships. So a lot of times when people talk about that friend or that side person and the comfort, it's not always coming from a negative place.
Right. You know, let me piggyback off that, right? There's a little viral clip that's going on right now, right?
You talking about the dude and
the water? The dude and dude in the water. So, you know what I'm saying? He basically had to break down to the woman, hey, look, I'm not your husband, I'm your side nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm your nigga, basically. Basically, what you go through between you and your man, I'm your nigga on the side. So basically, I'm letting you know, like, don't leave your husband for me. Under pressure, you come to, vent to, you know, situation might pop off, I can help you out then and there, but don't look towards leaving your relationship in order to be with me. Because she's showing a different side of vulnerability to another person that she already got her hopes and dreams up to, like, you know, if I leave this relationship, I can be with this person in return, and not focusing on the fact, like, you got somebody already there. So even though you can't express everything that goes on with you in the house that you're in, that's why we always say the sideline, side pieces, the friendships, that's where they can release more of things that go on inside of them and feel good about it, because they have somebody who's willing to accept what goes on. You know, because at the same time, you might have a lot of buildups mentally as a person. To if a person being vulnerable to you, you don't necessarily know how to react. I know myself, I don't know how to react to when somebody's being vulnerable. Sometimes I just be like, all right, you know, hey, you know, give a little dap or something, you know. But people always believe in a higher connection with more emotions you show. But at the same time, it can also be detrimental to that relationship, right? That's like when a person be like, yo, we've been together about 10 years, why aren't we married? I was like, what's up? You know, some people have it in their mind, like, why would we get married? Well, I just want our relationship to be on the next level. What's wrong with here? He's like, well, you know, when we're married, I know we're official. I was like, we're already official. A person will argue it down, you know what I'm saying? They'll argue it down so much, you know what I'm saying? Because what you already have locked in place, some people don't feel the need to go to the next level.
Okay. So I watched a video today, and it was somewhere where it was flooding, and It was a guy who was carrying his girlfriend on his back. And when they got to the middle of the water, he folded.
All right.
So he dropped her. She started drowning. They started flowing down the stream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everybody's like, get her, she's drowning. And they just started flowing, right? So some big guy came, picked up the girl, wrapped her legs around him, and grabbed the boyfriend by his arm and walked them both to safety.
Right.
Derek Jackson commented on the clip.
Oh, no, I didn't see this. Go ahead.
The comment that he gave was, the guy put forth his best effort, so for that he should be praised versus the fact that he failed. Because that's the guy that won't allow his woman to pump her gas or change her tire, etc., etc. He put forth the effort. Now, did he succeed? No. But he said that's no different from you women cooking for your man and you can't cook. But he still eat the food. And even if he gets sick from eating the food, he still can't say that the food is the reason why he's sick. So the moral of the story is, do you accept the person that put forth their best effort and still come up shy and short? And do you look at the heart and the intent behind the person? Or do you just look at the person that can just come save the fucking day? And I feel like that relates to the conversation as well, because
that's some deep shit. Yeah.
A lot of people really don't, once again, it's going back to personality and dating. Personality is not always accepted, because if personality don't always succeed, we don't find a value in personality. Some people want what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and that's case closed.
Cake and ice cream, man.
They can't accept the personality with the potential and the better intent, even if it can't deliver what they want at the particular moment. So I would just simply say the connection in all the conversations is that motherfuckers are selfish. And it's not that chivalry is dead. It's just people don't respect and accept chivalry unless it's exactly how they want it to be.
And chivalry is also.
It's a lot of dudes out there that's doing 80 to 90% out of 100, and they still get criticized for the small percentages that they don't provide. And there's a lot of women out there that's in particular situations. So the moral of the story is, stop being so fucking selfish within dating and relationships. Value the other person and their personality.
Definitely value it. Comes into play. No, that was good. I like that. I don't think I gotta say nothing, man. You did good.
I know.
You did good, man. Know what I'm saying? Cocoa butter ass nigga. Anyway.
Wow.
You know, I got to crack the funny out, man. It's alright, man.
That's African cocoa butter, man.
Oh, my fault. I thought it was the white man's cocoa.
It's from the motherland.
The motherland?
Yeah.
What's the names of the motherland?
Huh?
What are the names of the motherland now?
Oh man, shit. We got Wakanda. Yeah.
Hey, look, you guys, look. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. He cracked the funny, y'all. He cracked the funny, y'all. He cracked the funny.
Cocoa butter from Wakanda.
Oh man, well, yeah. Like piggyback off what he said is like, imagine the man who has put everything on the line. And just that one time, a big broad man just saves your life, and now your interest. That's it. Actually happens in real life, and you have also seen it in movies, right? That the dire experience is like a forever vulnerability or indebtedness to that man or woman, right? That's why when people die or about to die, they get rescued or saved. That person be like, man, I'll never forget you a day in my life. It sends off what's the words? Can't think of the type of words I want to use, but it sets off a chemical balance that you feel indebted to that person after that. So even with that, some people always wanted that Prince Charming type of thing, or
it'll be endorphins. It'll be endorphins because people get high.
That's what I say. Yeah, there you go.
Being saved.
Being saved and stuff. Yeah. So even with that going on, lady in distress, a man that some men always wanted to be a superhero to a woman's life. You know what I'm saying? I seen some crazy scenarios where a man had helped a woman who basically kind of forgot she fell and hit her head. And the boyfriend went over there to comfort the woman, like, hey, you okay? Let me make sure you're safe. He grabbed some napkins, covered her head that was bleeding and being stitched up. And when she got ice and help, he went back to the car. And the woman was yelling at him like, why are you sitting there helping another woman and I'm your woman? I was like, God damn, yo, the people are that selfish. You know what I'm saying?
Some people can never just do right. As fucked up as it is, Some people will give people the hero credit off one action, and then they can still have somebody that's there with them 24/7 that provides not just financial shit, but emotional stability, all these qualities. But just because a person comes through at the right moment and right time, they give them more credit than the person that's there every day.
Right.
So it's like you have to be careful with who you give credit to within your moments of vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's somebody there 24/7 that's putting in that work, putting in that effort and that grind, you have to respect their value within your life, even if they don't deliver 100% in the moments that you think they should. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's kind of easier for the person that can deliver in those moments, because even though they gave less, it felt like more. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said, that one powerful impact.
And that's like, if you go to the gym and you work out.
Right.
Let's say you start off with lower weights, high reps. By the time you get to the heavy weight, you can only get 1 to 2, maybe 5 reps out of that weight. But on the flip side, if you do drop set training, where you go back down, you may get to that lowest weight and you probably can only do 6 reps, even though you did 5 at the max. But when you first did the low weight, you was able to kill it. See, a lot of times it's not the weight that you lift, but it's how you lift the weight.
Form.
And you gotta, not just form, but sometimes the intensity can change the whole scenario.
Right.
So the intensity, pyramid training going up and then drop sets can make lightweight feel heavy, and heavyweight sometimes feel not as heavy or heavy. So you get to stress the body in a particular fashion, so you get the best of both worlds. A lot of times when people date, they don't really value the best of both worlds. They only want it one-sided. They want lightweight to feel light and heavyweight to feel heavy. Sometimes life don't always give you those options. You feel me? So sometimes things that's light feels heavy. Sometimes shit that's heavy feel light. So they go back to the conversation. What do you value in dating? Is it the personality or what the person can provide? And a lot of times, some people feel so short on the end of being provided for that they automatically go for the finances. If you take a woman that dated plenty guys that feel like these men wasted her time and she never got nothing out of it, she's going to be more probably, we could probably bet that she will go more so for finances over personality. Because if she never experienced a man that can give her stability, well, this is going to create a new world and perspective for her. Because she never experienced the other side. Right. So a lot of times when people have these mentalities, it's not always coming from a negative place. Sometimes it comes from never experiencing a positive. And I think that's another thing that should be put on the table. If you never really experienced somebody that can provide any kind of financial stability for you, are you wrong for making sure the next person that you get with got their finances together?
Well, that's what goes with, that's why they say women date up. that's one of them, that's majority of the thing.
Or they should.
Huh?
Or they should, so to speak.
Shit. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, all of them don't.
I mean, okay, look, man, I met a young lady about a week ago.
All right, story time.
With man, I need a little story music. Like, I'll tell you, when this soundboard comes in and they'll start doing a little soundboard, like story time. Y'all gonna love the effects when we put to the story. So, met this young lady. She's 21. She moved out here from Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the bar, Torchy's Tacos. Okay. Lime margarita.
All right.
2 trashy trailer tacos.
Salt.
Ain't no salt on that motherfucker. Ain't no sugar in that motherfucker.
Straight lime?
Straight lime.
All right. That's
you know what I'm saying? My business partner comes in, and we're both talking and conversing. And she was like, it's way different dating out here than it is out there. And I was like, break it down. She was like, well, I didn't become a fan of designer until I moved out here to Houston. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, yeah, every man I have ever dated has been an upgrade from the lifestyle to the clothes to the cars. So I was like, so basically, your goal is anytime you leave a man, it's always to date up. She's like, yeah, why would I give myself less experiences now? And that's when we always say, you gotta be careful who you upgrade at the same time, because then There's nothing wrong with having those, like we said, the financial stability at the same time. But this is the thing that people don't understand. This is not related to the lady at all. Mm-hmm. Some people will secure themselves of the finances and still fuck the other person on the side. They say secure the bag, keep it tight, put it in the bank.
So that would be.
But keep cash in your pocket.
Now we being greedy.
It's the cake and ice cream, baby.
Yeah. See, and you can't always have cake and ice cream. I'm sorry, it just really don't work like that.
Yeah, it fucks up your stomach too.
Yeah. You don't want to be in the bathroom, do you?
Maybe you do.
All right. Well, shit. I mean, you got anything you want to respond?
Is it? I love the fact that what I use this quote to educate my brothers. Mm-hmm. And I also go use this quote, as Kevin said. So I'm gonna start with the quote I do. You know what I'm saying? There's a quote saying that women rather share a successful man than be with a faithful loser. Mm. So that's why I be telling a lot of men, like, hey, look, I'm saying, like, fuck around, do everything, but understand there's power into how much success you bring about yourself. Health, wealth, love, happiness, body, mind, spirit, all that stuff comes into play. Because you'll have people attached to you just like, man, I have never met nobody who's so spiritual. And in different avenues. So you gotta keep working on improving yourself. Like, we live in a hypergamy world or hypergamy world. And one of my homeboys used to get mad at that. He was like, bro, why do we live in a world like, why they can't accept me for me? I'm saying I got more personality, I might not have the money. I was like, bro, you can't exclude money. I feel that's one thing that men, when Kevin says that, why is that something that men avoid, is the fact of finances do come into play if you're going to call yourself, put yourself in a high value status or hypergamy. That's why if you want the woman you want, but you don't want them to be seen, money wise, you're going to have to look all over the earth for that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Some people can deal with the simple things in life. Let me not ever say they can't. And that's what the people that choose personality over finances, right? Well, he has money, but he treats me way better. And some people be like, yeah, he treats me like shit, but he has money. I can fall back on it. That's why they say sometimes people will turn a blind eye. They're like, well, if his money was enough and he cheated, would you stay? Some women like, shit, what? Why would I leave?
All right, let's do it.
Versus if a person was broke and he cheated, get the fuck out of here, get your shit, yo. I'm too good for you. Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so honestly, the reason why I think a man can exist in a world where finances would be less important than his personality is because he lacks the will and the capability to surpass past what we call average. So we know the average man in this country makes about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Okay, so if you're dating as a man and you're comfortable within that income status yearly, then you'd be the guy more so focused on your personality that you have to offer. Okay, so it's not saying that men that make more than the average man makes is automatically more valuable because they make more. But let's be realistic. We're in a capitalistic society. Okay, so if you want to compete within a society, you have to compete with the asset that's on the table, which would be income. So if you are not a competitive man within that particular sense, if you're a little bit more lazy, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more bitch made, because let's just keep it 100. Even people that don't get their money legally, if they have a hustler spirit and a hustler's mentality, they still do what's necessary in order to provide at the highest level.
Bro, even the people at the hot dog stand.
You know what I'm saying? You have people that do what it takes to bring forth the biggest bag they can bring to the table. Not just a bag, but the biggest bag. So
multiple bags, bro. Don't forget that. Multiple bags.
Correct. So it's like, and then you have some women that probably won't focus on finances if they have their finances intact. But it's only because they already have that secure, or They probably don't value that because maybe they into some other shit. But we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
So, going back to the men, you have to put forth your best effort if you want to get forth your best result. So be the best man you can be at all times. Your personality is never enough in the real world. You can't bring personality to any build and think that shit gonna process through and that shit still gonna be on and work. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to smooth talk a couple of people on lower levels, but you have to have the finances. You know what I'm saying? So is it harder for men to date on that particular level? Yes. But that's the way the world made it. If you leave this world and get into another world, I salute you. But right now, this is all we're working with. You have to have more finances than you have personality. And then sometimes women require personality along with finances. So that really just depends on the kind of woman you date.
Balance.
If a man wants just his finances to be more dominant and important, you find you a gold digger.
Right.
You find you a woman that's more about that bag than you.
What's that, sugar baby?
But then there's pros and cons to that. Because if you pass or if anything happens to you, is she still going to be there and is she still going to continue the legacy that you was already putting in motion? So it's pros and cons to both sides. And if you do pick a woman that values personality and income at the same time, there's pros and cons to that as well. Because will she continue that? Who knows? Will she do what you would do if you were still here? Who knows? So the moral of the story is to the fellas, you have to be able to compete on multiple levels. Get your personality right. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your library right. If you a man out there and you ain't really putting forth the effort of self-development, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? The world requires you to function on a higher level. If you're going to be a man that's bringing in a lot of income and have a diverse personality, you're going to have to read and study. You have to take out time to be more than just what you come from. You know what I'm saying? You come from the hood, that's great, that's fine. I always go back to power. You look at somebody like Ghost, he came from the hood, but he was able to put on a suit, he was able to hustle, he was able to
conduct himself. That was
different
the main thing.
environments.
You got to be able to conduct yourself.
Correct.
You know, as it was going on, the whole thing went to my mind. You got to be a Renaissance man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to conduct yourself in different spectrums. That's how you move effectively, right? And a person like I get this a lot, right? You know, and I was growing up like, bro, you look hood, and then but when I hear you speak, it's like, okay, this person is different. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of what environment I'm in. I know how to conduct myself. That's the biggest leverage you can have on yourself, right? That's like with people who have money, they try to up one on people that's in a lower class over money. But let's disregard money. Let's talk about an intellectual subject, and they might dominate the shit out of them. You got there's power in just keeping yourself in a nice manner, like, you know what I'm saying, like I said, in a simple manner, and still be effective. And that's the power. That's why you said personality can only get you so far, right? I'd have been in situations where my personality got me to meet top people, and then I'd have been in situations like, well, what the fuck else does he bring? And that's reality when you are a man. Personality, like, it'll get you so far. Like, I like that guy, bring him around here. And then the other guy might be like, he's cool, but what can he do? That's a hard pill. That's a hard pill. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a hard pill to swallow that a lot of people don't think about. Is how effective can you move in different, you know what I'm saying, avenues and anything of that nature. Just keep that in mind. You know, be effective and build yourself all around. Right? I had a talk with my homeboy Avery today, and I was like, man, I gotta go back to 6 days a week, working out for the next like 3 months at least. He's like, why? I was like, bro, I can't be reaching for a top tier and just be focused on one category, right? That's why the chicks would be like, you know, dudes would be like, they'll fuck a fat rich nigga over just a dude who just has money, right? But I don't want to be on that level where, oh, okay, money came into play, but I look like slop. Have you ever seen the well-balanced man where he might, those are the people that usually come to the gym and they drive like a two-door Porsche.
Yeah.
They drive like a two-door Porsche. They get out the car. You get out the car. Like, okay, the car says, I have some type of wealth established. My body says I'm disciplined.
Correct. You took it right out of my head.
My body says I'm disciplined. Man, look.
Right.
So, I mean, we gotta do a Patreon soon, man. We gotta do a
And it's crazy because we want to take this somewhere else, man.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes, in a lot of, I'm gonna say most of the time, you have to have the discipline to get to those higher levels.
Anything, period.
So,
you need discipline
but
and structure.
some people have more discipline when it comes to scholarship than the physical discipline.
Mm-hmm.
They exist.
Yes.
But it's like longevity is on the table. Right. So you could be fat and rich and wealthy, but if you have a fucked up immune system, how long are you going to live to experience your wealth?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not just about getting the wealth or the riches or the women or whatever, or the men if you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the longevity you put into the process.
Right.
So, responding, stability, someone said, is more important. And I understand. Like, especially for a woman, if you do get into the process of conceiving, stability is the main key. The personality is out the window at this particular point. Maybe the personality is on the table because it's like, is he going to leave or stay? But if the man does stay, now stability is the main factor. Even if he leaves, stability is still the main factor.
What did I say earlier? Hypergamy.
Not just hypergamy, but
hypergamy.
You can have a woman that makes more or less, whatever the case is. But while she's conceiving and in that process, a lot of women don't want to work. And I can't say that that's negative because they're in the process of conceiving.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be healthy for them to be out there working, straining, pulling, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe if they work from home or they run a company, that's different. But we're talking about punching a clock.
Okay.
We have over 70% of women in this country that have to work.
They're gonna have to work
after pregnancy. It's safe to say, so to speak.
They said 70% of women are gonna have to work till they die, even with being married.
Right, but I was focusing on more.
Oh no, I'm giving you both because
I
was about to get back to the hypergamy, however you want to pronounce it.
But it don't necessarily mean that. Okay, put it like this.
Stability? They're going to choose the best mate. That's
correct. I'm not knocking that. But what I'm saying is the reason why I think 70% of women still have to work regardless, whether it's hypergamy or not, is because the cost of living is just set at a particular level.
I wasn't talking about it like that.
But that's what I'm saying.
If
you're not dating somebody, you know what I'm saying, at least a man that's making at least, depending on where you live, we talking about like 150, 100, 200 a year, you're gonna have to work because that's the set standard of, you know what I'm saying, that's the set standard for those kind of relationships to work.
Depending on where you work. If you're in, like I said, Texas, Houston, Dallas,
you gotta make
Atlanta. Shit, I was about to say the nice price. I mean, the low end, you need to make at least 75, 80K.
To be a sole provider?
Sole provider?
Nah, that's not gonna cut it.
That's not gonna cut it. I did a topic on, like I said before. We're gonna have to get on that subject.
Maybe for a relationship.
I didn't say
kids,
sole.
but if you bring in kids, now you can flip the whole scenario.
A sole. I mean, yeah. If you want to talk about a sole provider,
and don't get it twisted. It can work.
Bro, I'm about to say, bro, I'm just going to say, I know people.
But it's a lot of sacrifices that they make in order to make it work.
Okay.
So that's what we got to put on the table as well.
That's what I've always said.
Because not everybody's willing to make sacrifices.
If a woman can adjust to what that man can provide, then it's very much possible.
But not everybody can do that. And not everybody's wrong for not doing it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Live your best life.
You know what I'm saying?
YOLO.
But like I said, when it comes to like, so women be like, I don't want to work. Okay, can you adjust to this man's money and what he brings in? A lot of people can. But you know what I'm saying? Before we get on that subject, because I see we about to go in on this shit.
No.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
But see, I want to zone in on one more point. Depending on what some women do, they got to work anyway. Like sometimes women have to get back in the working field, depending on what they do.
Man, get your ass in the field.
Regardless to what a man does, or do or don't bring to the table, some women still have their goals and dreams, and they have their own purpose in their life. So not to take away from that, not every woman chooses if she don't want to work based on how much money her man make. Some women have their own personal ambitions, and that's just that. And we got to respect them too.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to get back on the subject for this shit.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I don't want to keep talking about
that. That sounds beautiful, but
yeah,
go
it
ahead,
sounds good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any more associated, like I said, is who and what catches your attention? Mm-hmm. So, on the subject, like I said, we talked about the personality, finances, competitiveness. And that's another person. That's another thing.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, man.
I got a question.
Go ahead. Do a question, man. Let me go ahead.
If a man got a daughter
Okay.
and his daughter date a dope boy,
Daughter dated dope boy.
he got it all. The money,
Got it all.
cars, and
Dope
everything.
Money, cars, and all.
Does this conversation still apply to her, even though she shows somebody with the finances popping?
The conversation would still apply to her. The reason why it would apply to her is because you still got to lace your daughter up on what comes with what comes with it at the same time, right? So, like I said, hypergamy doesn't care for if a person works legal or illegal. If he has the finances, the structure, and he's competitive, at least has status. Man, I know dope boys who got more status than business around this motherfucker. So like I said, bro, you can't get. That's just like people who always get upset. Like that's gonna be a subject. We're gonna do the professionals versus dope boys. Like why are dope boys being more chose than people who choose to work a profession?
Okay.
I'm about to say.
I would personally say, fuck it. I'm not gonna go against what you said. I'm not,
bro.
I'm gonna be different on this one. What I would say is that some men, once again, may look at the financial part, but they may look at the longevity. The odds are stacked more so against the person that's choosing the illegal route to provide the finances versus the person that's choosing the legal route. But however, the person doing the legal route can get fired tomorrow.
Exactly.
So we're just looking at
one of the main things
we're looking at imprisonment or death and unemployment and maybe even imprisonment as well. So I would just simply say if it's a father, you know what I'm saying, I think any father would tell their daughter to leave the situation.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But it would
also
also depend on the ambition and also the personality of the dope boy. Because you have a lot of quote unquote dope boys that transmutated that energy into legal assets and now they're millionaires.
Right.
So you got to also put that fact on the table. But it's not always what you do, but you always have to investigate the personality as well.
I mean, you know, I love my dope boys, Reed. But y'all be stealing the women too. And I'll just be, I'm just talking to my homies. Like, well, my homie said a funny thing. He said, yeah, you know, dope boys be fucking our chicks, but when they go to jail, we be fucking their chicks.
Alright, so
yeah, man.
So when they into the platform,
I gotta throw a funny in there, man, because like I said, I don't shit on none of my homies or whatever they want to do, but at the same time, it's an interesting concept. But then again, what I do notice is I would also look at the age parameter at the same time of what women would choose certain aspects of different men, because that does come into play, you know.
What's the break off? 30?
About 30, I would say so.
If you pass 30,
because by 30, bro, like you gotta remember, women. Look, bro. You know what's crazy about being 30 now is I can actually see, like, even from a young age, even to now, like, women are, when they say that women hit the wall, you should see how they're actually acting at this age.
What's
right
the
now.
ages?
The age is like from anywhere from 28 to 35 and up. Like the same thing KS explained. That's really the wall, because at this point in time, majority of them want marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I gotta make sure they're trying to secure somebody, but at the same time, you gotta remember what comes with the lifestyle of those who have more finances than anything.
And I would say another fucked up thing to intake at the same time.
Right.
More men reach their sexual peak prior to 30, and women reach their sexual peak within their 30s.
Sexual peak?
Yes, their sexual.
You mean going up or down?
The peak is up.
I was about to say women's peak are. No, I mean, like, men have more testosterone than women. What are you talking about?
No, slow down. Listen to what I said.
Sexual peak?
Sexual peak meaning the point to where that particular sex wants more sex. Women's sexual prime is in their 30s. Men's sexual prime is within that 16 and early 20 gap or late 20s. 16 to 20s, and then women reach their sexual prime within their 30s.
They got a lot. But I don't believe that though.
No, it's facts. It's statistical facts.
That
that's
men,
what I'm saying. You also have to implement that
16 to 24.
Yeah, that's when you're in your
And women hit their sexual peak.
I didn't say 24. I said men reach their sexual prime prior to their 30s, starting at around 16, 17, and then women reach their sexual prime within their 30s. It's a fact.
I definitely don't believe that.
Disagree. It's a fact.
Don't believe that because, like I said, men still have more testosterone.
Do you not know
women.
that within the sexual realm,
Hold on, man. We gonna get off.
the older a woman gets, the more her sexual hormones increase sexually, and for the men it's the opposite. You're in your prime. The younger you are, the older you get, you slow down. With women, it's the opposite. Women just can't produce at later ages. Men can produce at lower ages. That's facts, man.
Well, okay, man. Like I said, nah. With the way testosterone,
testosterone dies out the older you get, fam.
Yeah, but the percentage that a man has is still more crucially more to a woman.
That's because you're more testosterone based, man. You're always gonna have more testosterone.
Man, look, stay on something, man. Cause come on, man. Hey, look, man. Tune in.
Yeah, man. So tell them what the fuck to follow the platform. That's Talking That Talk official podcast.
Hey, you fired, man. You don't even stay on the subject,
Talking
man.
That Talk official podcast. We on YouTube. We on IG. You gonna shout out your people on IG Live.
Man, yeah, man. Shout out to the people on IG Live.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for tuning in. Do you have anybody, before we go a little intermission right now, like I said, link, subscribe to the channel, comment, reviews, and we out. Peace.
Take the bass line out.